Hello my friends and welcome, my name is Dennis and this is the second part of our Aviation Mishaps series. Just to remind you, in this series we are reviewing some kind of cases or even crashes, but without human life lost. So happy ending is everywhere in our videos. And we are reviewing this not just for fun, but to dig down and find out what mistakes were done by other people, just not to do it ourselves in the future. So my friends, we have 3 videos for today and all of the aircraft are military and all of the aircraft are Tupolevs, but different modifications. Let's see the first one. Okay guys, first we have Tupolev 134. It's not the best video quality since it's 2006 and no HD everywhere on the smartphones as we have right now. But anyway, it's Tupolev 134 and it's ready for takeoff from Simferopol Gvardeysk military airport to Moscow. And they carry some kind of officers, generals, lieutenants, etc. to their, I don't know, home base or something. So this machine, this airplane is usually used to take military stuff somewhere, not the casual military but officers. And we also had these airplanes as a civil modifications for our some of our Ukrainian airlines, but nowadays no more. I like this aircraft, I like the external view, and I think it is beautiful, even though it's a very loud airplane with low bypass ratio engines. As you can see, we have a military airplanes on the back. Anyway, I want to put your attention here, just look at the engine. So at some point they hit the bird, it's a Birdstrike, but they all already started the rotation, they lift a little bit, then they land again and put the nose wheel on the ground and they overrun the runway. And just look at this. It's unbelievable scenery, unbelievable because everyone survived. it's like a magic, you know, because there were 28 people on board, crew and passengers, and all of them survived in this, I don't know, ball of fire. If you go a little bit further on, you can see nothing left from this airplane, just burned out. But crew did it, they survived, they evacuated from the burned airplane. It's unbelievable, guys. Well, the fire brigade went there quite late and the airplane was totally destroyed. Actually, they were lucky because you don't see, you can see that there is no any wing on the right side, so it's just separated and burned out. And yeah, they were very lucky. There was a lot of fuel in this airplane, and I just want to show you some Wikipedia. It's Russian Wikipedia, so you won't understand anything here, but I'll translate to you. 28 people, 19 passengers and 9 persons of the crew. 13 people were get minor injuries and just two were hospitalized and they needed medical attention. That's all. Everything went fine there. Now let's see what went wrong in this situation. Actually, for takeoff you calculate your speeds. You need to have V1 speed, V rotate, and V2. V1 speed is the speed at which you should perform the first action to stop the airplane. So it's not a decision speed, it's the speed of your first action to stop the airplane. So on Boeing 737, for example, the first action is to close thrust levers and disengage auto throttle. So it's your first action. If you're a little bit late with it, continue takeoff. That is why the callout of V1 is around 3 knots prior reaching V1. So here we should have continued takeoff, not rejecting it, because then you start the rotation of the nose gear. is here. So you have a Birdstrike and you already passed the rotation speed. You already passed V1. V1 and rotate can be very close, especially on a dry runways. So at that moment, for sure, they already passed the V1 speed, but they decided to stop and reject takeoff. They even airborne, because here you can clearly see the smoke. The smoke is going out of the main landing gear wheels. That's why they airborne. Why they rejected the takeoff? Because the controller who was watching the takeoff and who saw the Birdstrike itself, he ordered them to reject. So they call reject and they start the reject maneuver. It was too late to start this maneuver according to every aviation rule. So we need to continue at V2 speed. So we still have one engine. This airplane wasn't really heavy, just 28 people on board, so they might have good scenario. Then they take off, then they took off with one engine, just turn around and land, and it's the most safe way. Why they decided to reject, I don't know. So of course the runway is not enough for this kind of speeds, and they overrun at around 135 knots. They overrun the runway. Crazy. But they were very lucky, very lucky. One more video, my friends. This time it's also Tupolev, but different one. It's strategic bomber Tupolev 22M3. So it's here. And the video is again very bad quality. Sorry about it, guys. Just military time for today. Let's go. What will happen? So it runs for takeoff. Starts the takeoff row. Engines are working. At some point they reject the takeoff. These parachutes, and again the runway is not enough. They overrun the runway. I don't see any spoilers or interceptors. They crushed the wing and came to the standstill. Nice. And again, everyone is okay. They didn't burn into flames. The crew evacuated. So what went actually wrong here? And again, my friends, it's the break of one of the major aviation rules. If you have V1 and you have some kind of failure, continue, please. I was trying to find the information what caused that accident to happen, but it's military secrets. They don't share it with us, so I don't know what really happened there. Seems like the engines were running fine, but I don't really know. The only thing I know, if you have engines running and you can clearly see that they are running because their exhaust air coming out from them, you need to continue because the runway here is very short. They just break here, start parachutes, ejecting them, but the remaining strip is very short. I think it's like 600 meters, not more. Of course they would overrun, and hit everything. So V1 continue. In any case, even 3 knots before V1, just call V1. At V1 you need to proceed with the first action for reject. So my friends, rejecting your takeoff may not be the safest option, as you can see. For example, Boeing divided reject takeoff into high speed reject takeoff and low speed reject takeoff. For high speed reject takeoff, it's after 80 knots and prior V1, we reject only in case of engine failure, fire warning, aircraft unsafe or unable to fly, and predicted wind shear. Why it was made like this? Well, simply because there were many cases similar to what I've just showed you. So my friends, this time we have landing of this aircraft, and again it is Tupolev, the same type of aircraft that you've seen just in the previous one. Tupolev 22. I wonder what the modification is. There is quite fun modification, Tupolev 22 M2, 222 M2, very interesting. So this time they land, and something went wrong before. They tried to extend the flaps, but were unable to do it. It's a nice Sky talk, I will just translate to basic. So they just mentioned the speed. They crossed the threshold at speed of 225 knots, around 405 kilometers an hour, and they tried to land. The speed is very high. They touched down the first time at speed of 200 knots, also very high. So they had a bounce landing, but they held the yoke, and now they ballooning a little bit, but they made a safe landing. But I don't know if the runway lengths will be available for the stop. And the ETC called to use emergency brakes and parachutes. So the video is very bad quality, so I don't see what happened there, but it seems like they stopped at the same point, you know. And after they vacated the runway. Tupolev 22 is the supersonic bomber, so it has quite high speeds for landing. But what was done here is they were quite close to the runway, and they may enter the ground effect. And it's very hard to lose the speed if you enter the ground effect. So here you just enter the ground effect over here, and they start to float. And the speed is dropping, but not very fast, I would say. So my friends, then you enter the ground effect, you have some extra lift, and then you put the thrust levers to idle, you reduce your thrust. That won't cause your airspeed to trend down very rapidly as if it was on some kind of altitude. I'll just show you one more video. So in this video they will demonstrate the ground effect.
But I'm actually gonna do a demonstration for ground effect.
On a glider. It has no engine. And just see what happens. So I have some kind of speed. The speed indicator is here, and you may watch it. You may watch that we enter the ground effect on some kind of speed, and the speed is not dropping. We don't have engine. It's dropping a little bit, but not very fast. And we just fly near to the ground, several inches high, and the speed is not dropping very fast.
There we go. I didn't want to land long.
The glider only lost 5 miles per hour, I think knots, flying over a mile in ground effect. Amazing. So the same thing, the similar thing happened to those guys in Tupolev. So they were at the high speed, but they were not decelerating quite fast. That's what ground effect is. Finally, my friends, I think it's all for today, and if you want me to review some kind of particular video, you may share the link in the comment section below. But that video should not contain human life losses. So we are reviewing aviation mishaps, some kind of interesting situations, and even crashes, but not disastrous crashes, not catastrophic crashes, okay? Let's just be humans. And let's be awesome, guys. I know you are, so it's mandatory for you to follow our special awesome guy checklist. First, you need to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and ring the bell, whatever it means. Thank you very much for your attention, and have a great time.